Hi everybody. I had talked to a few students this past week and they had said that it would be helpful to know how to clean up a vector graphic. So I've borrowed our penguin here that we're using for music, and I want to show you a couple of different things that you do to clean it. I noticed when I was looking at it during the in progress reviews that this area here is not as clean a line as it could be, and there's a little divot out of this right side wing. So you're going to do a couple of different things. The first thing we want to do, if we want to see are there excess items that aren't really necessary, the easy way to see that is to go under View and come down to Outline. Outline gives you the skeletal structure of your logo, and you see right away that, oops, there's all kinds of things that were being played with that aren't ultimately a part of the finished design. These components can give you headaches when you actually go to press, because the printer might see them and go, uh-oh, they lost their color, and add them. And that's essentially what's happening here. When you're in preview, you don't see them. When you go to view and outline, you see everything. These items that appear invisible on the other side are actually just items that have no color, fill, or stroke. So I'm going to work in here for a couple of minutes, and you see that when I try and use my selection tool to access these components, I can't get them. That tells me right away that these items must be locked. So I go to Object and Unlock All. And now I can click on certain things. The star, hit delete. The curve, delete. Another curve, hit delete. Now, there's some things that I have to be careful about. Some of these components here where I go, oops, it's actually selected a lot, but that tells me I probably need to ungroup. So I'll ungroup there, and I'll try and select that little hunk. And yes, it is something that, oops, that changed the shape of the curve. I'm putting that back. I did an undo there. Here's another little hunk that appears to be nothing. There's another hunk. Here's a spiral in the background. And then there's some funny shaped lines. I don't want to hit delete on those though, or this oval, because I have a feeling that this was created by overlapping elements to create shapes, and I'm going to show you now how we can clean those up. I'm going to go back to Preview, and you see that if I take this piece away, oh, nothing happens, so I can go ahead and hit delete. But there were a couple over here. There's a funny little white dot there. Let's see if I delete that. That was okay, but there's still a white dot there. Very hard to see. If I hit delete, that's the one that changes the wing. So I'll bring that back. I don't want to do that. There's a couple little pieces down here. Do you see those? I'm going to hit delete there. I'm not sure if those were intended to be part of the design or not, because they're little tiny ones all by themselves. Notice though that when I tried to delete it, I took away, it looks like a whole bar went. I'm not quite sure, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And the artist will know whether or not they need to leave that or not. Now notice if I try and click and drag, I get everything. So I've got to find where this funny little square is, and I'm not quite sure just yet. Now I think there's a divot over here, but no, instead when I select it, what I see is that there are multiple anchor points along that wing. We don't need 3 anchor points in a row, so we're going to clean that up. So the easy thing to do is get my magnifying glass, increase it just a little bit so that I can see it. Now, the first question before I even go further is what I can do is make this penguin a template so that I can see what I want to adjust and what I want to move. So I'm going to duplicate layer 1. And I'm going to call the first layer 1 by double-clicking it. I'm going to call it template. And then what I'm going to do on here is go to the menu bar and go, if I actually turn it into a template, in doing so, it should dim the image to 50%. I had to double click it to make it do that for me. So I'm going to hit OK there, and it's not dimming it, which of course, because I'm doing a demo here for you. So it should actually, let's go down to 25% and see if it shows me that. And we'll put it on template, we'll hit OK, and let's turn the eyeball off on the one above. And you'll notice, oops, I inadvertently turned that first one into a template, the copy, which I don't want to have happen. And I'm going to turn that one off. Still does not appear that these templates are dimming for me, so it is giving me some trouble. So what will I do? I'm going to select all, and I have to turn my lock off to do that. Select all, and okay, I'm finding there's no easy way to do what I want. I was going to turn the wings into a gray, and I think I'm going to have to do that by just selecting the wing areas themselves and the bird and these components out here. All of my black pieces I'm turning to a gray right now, just so that they are lighter. Okay, perfect. That's all I wanted. And oops, look at that. I've got a little piece there where it was built with more than one item. So now I can, when I turn on the black version, I can see it and I can make adjustments. Now I'm going to go ahead and lock the template, but you'll see in a moment why I want that there. So once again, I'm going to get my magnifying glass and I'm going to increase the view over here on these excess points. Now I'm going to use my delete anchor point option, and I don't believe I need these points here. So I'm going to delete them. You will have it yell at you every once in a while, and that's because the tip of my pen was not directly on the point. So I have to be right on it. And now you see, oops, it made this terrible mess here, but I've eliminated a lot of the points. That mess is okay. And now you see exactly why I had my template underneath, because now I can work this lever to the space where that light gray template existed. And now I have a nice clean wing, except right here I'm not liking what's happening there. And you'll notice that there's a lever on one side, I'm going to undo, and the other one is tucked so tight against it that you could hardly see it. So there may even be 2 points. Aha! See it? 2 points under there. That was causing my trouble. So I'm going to get my delete anchor point again, pen tool, and I'm going to get rid of one of those. And you probably just panicked because it looks like everything disappeared. But again, direct selection, pull on that lever, and you see how beautifully clean that is. Now my guess is that I don't even need this point. So I'm going to delete anchor point again, and it looks like it's a disaster, but it really isn't, because I just pull that out, pull this one out a little bit further, and now I have a beautiful clean curve without any indents, divots. You see as we go along here, here's a few more of those. If I click over here, whoo! So what I'm finding is that this was made with a great big shape. We're going to clean that up, but I'm going to stop this at part 1, and I'll start round 2 in a moment.